a wild time. It's been a wild time. About 24 hours.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot of Raw, but apparently the first 20 minutes was a dumpster fire. And yeah.
Good old Raw, man. All I know is that Randy Orton is fighting for the title.
Yeah. We've talked a lot, so like I didn't listen to anybody of their hot takes and stuff, so I don't know where the community stands on what they see and whatnot. But I've tweeted out some helpful things in my opinion that separate the two companies from each other. And yeah, I'm in a tailspin right now. That's kind of because you know me. I'm not an AEW hater, but I'm like a realist when it comes to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And that show was fire last night. They smashed it.
I want to read this. I want to read this to you.
Okay.
And because this is somewhat has me feeling some type of way, and this is part of the reason why I hate the IWC. You know how I feel about the IWC.
I mean, me and you could have a podcast about talking about the IWC and be the most hated two people on the internet. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Slap it on.
So, our good homie Speeds in the benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
They wrote a post.
Okay.
Somebody said someone had the audacity,
mm-hmm.
to say that All Out. You can equally compare All Out to WrestleMania 17.
I mean, I don't think it's equal, but All Out was a very well put together show.
Yes.
But it did have the feel on it. It just felt like, I don't know, when you go to WrestleMania, you get that like payoff,
right,
across the board. And I feel like all the matches, except for like obviously there's a few that are duds, but they really put like I was watching the wrestlers throughout the year, and then you get to WrestleMania, it's WrestleMania because everybody's on another level, another gear.
Yeah.
When I watched 100%. All Out, it's the same. Like from Dynamite to All Out, the quality of wrestling it's like the same across the board. Like they ramp it up, like the Bucks and Lucha Bros always ramp it up. But I don't think that was their best match they had together. It was a good match, fantastic, but it wasn't their best match. You know what I mean? Like, do you not agree with that? Like, it was a really good, well put together match for them.
Amazing match,
but it wasn't their best match. Because
the thing about it is that, like, when you've watched the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks go at
correct,
they have consistent matches.
Yeah. But it's not like another gear has been put on that show. Like when we go to Dynamite, we'll probably get the same level of expertise from all the workers out there, except for like obviously the Punk match was stagnant at the very beginning, and then it picked up, and we talked about how Darby Allin was going to carry that match.
Absolutely.
And that was a guaranteed. It would think I was kind of sitting there, and I compare CM Punk to Edge, and Edge's work rate is on another level in terms of the two. And I think Edge was gone longer. Could quote me if I'm mistaken, but yeah, I like that. The Christian match and Kenny Omega, to be honest, I wasn't into it. I already knew there was going to be some reveals. We already got the Daniel Bryan leak, so I was just kind of waiting for him to play. Like legitimately, I watched that match and I was playing a video game at the same time. It's not that there's anything bad between the two. I enjoyed the match, but it wasn't as gripping as the other matches on the show. Like the storytelling and stuff like that. I feel like their chemistry isn't at the level of where Kenny Omega is. Like Christian is a very good worker and he does everything right, and he puts on a good solid match. But I don't think in AEW we've seen anybody like he has with Okada, or like the New Japan elk that he's been with when he's putting on those best wrestler in the world matches. Like AEW hasn't done those. He's been doing a different gimmick and a different style and he's been wrestling other people that aren't on the same level. And that's why I'm very excited about the Daniel Bryan thing. And I feel like you can't have a WrestleMania comparison without a big fight feel at the end where you don't know who's going to win. Like when you had WrestleMania, wait, they said it was as equal to WrestleMania 17, you said?
17. They said, so
yeah, there's no match that can top Austin and Rock in terms of big fight feel.
Okay, so
right?
Listen, because this is part of the card on WrestleMania 17.
But
you had Austin Rock.
Yeah.
Taker Triple H.
Yep. Jericho
TLC
Michael.
2.
Yeah. TLC 2.
Benoit Angle. Jericho Regal.
Okay.
They
were stellar matches, but what I'm saying is All Out would have been a better pay-per-view as if Kenny Omega had legitimate contender to lose. Like he was never going to lose to Christian. He already lost to Christian. That was already out there. So we knew he wasn't losing. Yes. But for example, you look at this past WrestleMania, you had Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan, and you legitimately were like, Edge can win that match. Roman can win that match. You knew Daniel Bryan wasn't going to win that match, but they made it so that he possibly could win that match. The way they framed everything was so well done that you didn't have that, oh, he's going to win that match. And that's a big fight feel. Like you look forward to the match. Sasha and Bianca, you look forward to those matches. All Out had those matches, but the main event, the Big Show QT towards the end, how can you compare it to a greater card where you had two of the behemoths? Like if you had the show, if it was headlined by Bryan versus Omega, that's what you built. That is a WrestleMania takedown or a Wrestle Kingdom takedown, those two going at it. I already tweeted that out. That's going to be I think that's Kenny Omega's next 5-star match when they put that match together. I think that's the match out of all of AEW right now. That is going to be Omega and Bryan.
Yes.
I didn't think Hangman was going to do it. I think that was going to be a good match, but I don't think it's going to be a 5-star match. And the cool thing they could have done was hold off the 2. And I don't know what the thing is, but if they actually could have got Okada to come out when he was talking to that elk and he just comes out, the Rainmaker, that would, for me,
oh, man.
would destroy, I would be bowing down to AEW right there. You know how I feel about Okada, right?
You're Okada stan.
I'm Okada stan, but when they're talking about a man who could beat him, that's a match I want to see on US soil, right? But the Daniel Bryan thing was good. Adam Cole came out. I was hyped because that for me changed. That's why I got into watching anything outside of WWE. To be honest,
F Okada just for you.
Hey man, it's whatever. Some people like who they like, man. Some people like who they like. It's okay. It's okay. I like my 18 lariats to win a match. That's how I do, man. I like big beady men slapping meat. I like Okada. Say what it is. What it is. It's not a big deal. What's up, Tez? And then so we're looking at it like that. So I think AEW is in a position to do big things. And before we didn't see the vision. I didn't see the vision, but now I see where they're going, and we're like, oh, they're gonna do all these things. Obviously, they got to add in more titles and get another hour onto Rampage. To me, I think another hour would be great because obviously there's some talent that's not there.
Wrestling.
There's too much wrestling. I mean, listen, that's why you have to that's the thing. There's too much, but for people that have the time, they're gonna soak it all up, right? But you have to divide your time. You have to figure out who you're gonna watch better, who you're gonna watch more. And I feel like AEW making these moves, it's back.
AEW already has 4 shows in under 3 years.
I don't care, but the YouTube shows are just stuff to me. It's stuff it's not an actual show to me. You know what I mean? It's just enhancement talent, people giving the shots and looks, and they just record people because they don't. The way WWE does it, right, is they go on the road, they do house shows and stuff like that. AEW goes to the site and they record a crap ton of matches.
Hold on, do they even still have superstars in main events?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Oh, okay.
So the thing is like they just recorded a main event match between Dana Brooke and Doudrop. Main event match. So because there's a Dana Brooke Stan account that just popped up on my Twitter, and so that's how I know that match took place. So with with everything that goes on, like with everything that goes on, but like AEW goes through, like they do the Wednesday show and then they record a lot of dark matches. Because to be honest, I'll tell you straight up, the best show I've been to other than WrestleMania, Rock and Hogan, has been the AEW show, and I've been to a bunch of Raws and SmackDowns between that. That Fyter Fest at CEO was hands down the best wrestling show I've ever been to. Other than those.
Amazing time.
Yeah.
Amazing time. Episode 1.
Yeah.
AEW Dynamite in DC.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing show.
It's a good feeling to be out there. It's a good feeling to be out there. And then it shows that the crowd doesn't have to have a downer to recover from being spent. Because the crowd was hot all night. Like they didn't stop. I'm pretty sure the people that left that show slept like babies because they were dead tired. Like they had to be dead tired from the amount of like exertion from just being active. Like I know for me, after CEO and I had to drive home, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it home. Like I from the start of the show to the end, I was go. I couldn't even like, sometimes I was standing for like most of the match and stuff like that, and then it was crazy. But
King Rich said watching Eddie and Benoit winning the titles front row at Mania was the best moment for you.
That's a moment you can't.
That's unforgettable.
It's unforgettable.
Yeah, that's an unforgettable moment there. Like,
I just feel like we're in a, like, it feels like the Attitude Era all over again. I just can't get over that fact. That's what it feels like to me.
I get you.
It's just history's repeating itself.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, and then the only difference is everybody's like blaming Vince for stuff, but you can tell they have admiration for Vince. Everybody does, except for the people, like, you can tell the difference between a disgruntled left employee and somebody who left on the best terms.
Yeah.
And their mentality, they're like Aleister Black leaving and he gets cut, right? But then you have Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan who left, and like they can't say nothing but great things about Vince. But they just chose a different path because they want to wrestle.
Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, you know, if anybody's like, oh yeah, all wrestlers have nothing negative to say, I'm like, shut the hell up. Go watch Ric Flair's interview at NWA 73 or at Empower.
And he just got let go. Like, they just got rid of him.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to. He could have just went out there and buried him.
Yeah. But he was like, yo, he saved my life. He helped me out. Thank you. Like, listen, Vince cares, right? But you also got to understand, he's a businessman. He has to protect his business. And yes, sometimes some of those assets don't fall into the new business plan when it comes up to that point. So yes, you have to get let go. It's like, the thing about it is that, like, it gets frustrating when people take it as like, oh, this person got let go and they didn't get utilized correctly. Yes, sometimes some people just don't fit in the plan. That's why there's options. There are options, and you get happy when someone gets off their feet or gets off their ass because they weren't utilized properly, quote unquote, or they just didn't fit into a system, and they're able to do something well elsewhere. Yeah. Hey Ash, how are you? Chat, do me a favor, go follow this amazing content creator, Twitch ambassador. Ash said hi. She's the queen of retro. Amazing content, genuine soul. Yep. And listen, you will not be disappointed. She plays every single bit of retro you can think of. Her room, her setup is immaculate. I'm just telling you, entertaining content, amazing person, enjoyable. Trust me. Like, I'm telling you, please give her a follow, support her on everything that she does, because she does amazing work. But yeah, I'm doing well, Ash. How are you? I'm feeling good. My voice is kind of coarse. I was in Georgia. I was in Atlanta for the Miami versus Alabama game, and I was yelling at my team because we got our asses handed to. But yeah. But I'm okay. You know. Yeah, see, Ash, exactly, Ash. A lot of big things happening in AEW.
Huge.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's and look when those wrestlers go somewhere else and they're thriving and they're succeeding, just enjoy it. Like I said, this whole fanboy, this whole stan nonsense, like y'all gotta kill that crap, man. Like there's no competition. There's no competition. There's no war, right? If there's competition, there's a competition because there's options with what can grab your attention. Let that happen, right? Stop. Like, listen, don't be like, oh, WWE is complete trash because AEW has some of WWE's talent. That's cool. Eventually, the other way around is gonna happen. AEW is gonna have WWE is gonna have some of that AEW talent go to WWE, and they're gonna thrive too. And what are you gonna say about that? Nothing.
So here's the cool thing. Did you watch any of the interviews, the post-mortem interviews, post interviews? Did you watch the Adam Cole one? Did you watch the Adam Cole scrum?
No, I did not.
So, key tidbits from there. Obviously, he talked about he loved Vince and all stuff like that, but he wanted to be with his friends. Simple as that. O'Reilly was one of his best friends. It was a surprise to him that his contract was up. He didn't know, and WWE didn't know, like nobody knew. It was a surprise to both of them. And he could have left right then and there, but he extended it because he wanted to make sure he did all that stuff for Kyle. That's why he stayed, because Kyle's one of his best friends. Right. And then the big thing that also came out of it is when Tony Khan mentioned the war, and he said there is no war, and the reason why they lost in the demo, and the only time that AEW lost, and he broke down the metrics a little bit. He said the only time AEW lost to NXT was when Adam Cole was on the TV. So that tells you something. No matter how much they've been pushing all the NXT talent, the only person that anybody else cared about in NXT was Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
That was it. Yeah. Right? Undisputed Era, Adam Cole. But Adam Cole specifically, when Adam Cole was on the TV, he drew more people from the demo from AEW over to NXT whenever Adam Cole was featured and stuff like that.
How powerful he is.
Correct.
As an entity.
Correct. And that's why they wanted to make sure they scooped him up. On top of that, we talk about, they don't push anybody in NXT. Why are they letting people go? That just solely proved that all the people they pot, all the money they invested into NXT did not work because nobody else that they pushed, nobody else they gave titles to, nobody else they did stuff with, drew away from the competition but one man. That's why Vince wanted him over, because he knew that person made money and he would do anything to keep him. So when people complain about this person, that person, this person gets cut from NXT, what are they doing? They weren't drawing, and they were making more money than what they should be spending on stuff that aren't translating. So if you're not making money in NXT, why bring you up to be a hand when they have somebody else in your spot? Like, they bring people up and then they go, and you know how WWE works. You go in NXT, you're a star, you come up, you have a crap gimmick because you're in the line. You don't go, I'm NXT champion. That doesn't mean anything to Universal Champion or WWE Champion. That doesn't mean anything.
Who did that? Who
was Finn Balor and Phil Balor. Finn Balor and KO did that. But Finn Balor also got injured right away, right when he got the title. And KO came up there, and the reason why KO was in that spot with the title is because John Cena made that happen.
Yep.
John Cena liked KO so much he wanted to put him over. There's nobody out there doing that spot, and everybody's like, oh, John Cena, but John Cena's the one who did all that, and he's no longer here anymore. And Roman Reigns is not going to go and lose to anybody, because that's his character is the best heel in the business right now, and I'll fight anybody on that, because his work is phenomenal. And then we talk about all that. So when you come up, like Karrion Kross comes up and loses, that's just part of the game. It's part of the game. Because it doesn't matter. Wins and losses don't matter in WWE. You can come in there. Look at we talked about, Drew McIntyre, dominant champion, loses, comes up, and then is a lackey. He's a lackey for Dolph Ziggler for a while, a long time, and then snap of the fingers, boom, you're a monster now, and now you get pushed to the moon. They can really just, at any point, they can activate any wrestler that's there to be a star. If 1, you're working hard enough. 2, you play the game. 3, you just don't be a fuss and complain. Kofi Kingston, 11 years, 17 years, whatever he's been there. Randy Orton cut his tails. What did he do? He didn't complain about it. He still did his gimmick. He went out there. He probably complained backstage and was disgruntled, but he came to work and did everything. Anytime he was on TV, he smashed it. Look at the people that also get opportunities on TV and they don't smash it every single time. They give them a script, whatever, it's a bad script. Hey, you fight them, but instead of fighting them, be like, hey, do it. And then the person goes back, yeah, that's the script I wrote. He delivered it. Awesome. You got to make it your own. You got to take what they give you and turn it into something great. So be better. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody that comes out of there and be like, we're going to give you crap, shine it up and give me gold. If you can't do that, you don't belong in this company. And that's how it is. That
is why
that's
people
it.
Like Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin will always succeed in WWE.
Happy Corbin is working, and people, I hate this gimmick, hate stuff. He's happy. He's pissing people off. So he's so good, and people don't understand how he's just getting in people's heads, and he's just like, and they see how they trademark Happy Corbin. Everybody's like, "What's Happy Corbin? That's gonna be a dumb gimmick. It's gonna be terrible." And then they set it up, and then it's like, "Oh, he's now rich now. Oh, how did he get money?" And it's like, this is so. I think that's what matters. And then he goes in there and he does it. He brings in Logan Paul. Everybody hates him. That's cheap heat and stuff like that. It's great. AEW has the same thing, but they don't have characters.
So King Rich says, explain Heath Slater.
What do you mean explain Heath Slater?
He said he thinks that Heath Slater did everything.
He did everything.
That they told him.
Correct.
And he didn't whine. But why is he no longer in WWE?
They didn't have room for him. He's doing the same thing. When you don't make yourself a standout, you have the iKids gimmick. You're working with Rhino.
And you know what? Let me ask you a question, King Rich. When's the last time you saw Heath Slater on Impact?
He's not there, right? So here's the thing: like, people say, like, it's not a whole 100% across the board. This is the formula. Heath Slater did everything right. He did everything. He jobbed out to the people, made people work, did all the stuff that he needed to do. He did all that stuff, but at the same time, once you have a ceiling, your ceiling is that. Like, is he world champion material? I don't think so. Why? Because nobody sees him that way. Once you're typecast, you're in that role. What had happened with Drew McIntyre? Same thing. He felt the same way, and then all of a sudden he got, lost a chip on his shoulder and stuff like that, and then he had to go away. But then he made it his mission to come back and be what McMahon said he would be. Right? Look at Jinder. Jinder got fired too. What did he do? He went and got himself big and ready, worked on everything that he needed to work on, and then came back. Heath Slater's part of that trio. What did he do? Go to Impact. Didn't do much with it. Like, the ball's not there. Look at Matt Cardona. He could be hurt, but look at Matt Cardona. Could have slicked his wounds. He had everything. He won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania and then lost it the next day.
Yep.
Over. He was over. He's been over. He's been making his mark on time. They wouldn't give it to him because they don't see it. Now I guarantee you, in like a year or two, they'll call. And he can reject them. But he is money if he wants it. If he wants to come back to the Fed. Or he wants to do the anything.
Also, he did low-key shot himself in the foot because he also talked shit about WWE.
He did. But Vince is already there. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like, you could talk shit. He knows it's part of the game. You talk shit, that's fine because that gets you over.
Yeah. You
have to do what you have to do to make your mark. And at the end of the day, he could probably do that and just call Vince and say, hey, Vince, I got to talk bad about you. I'm going to have to do it. And if you don't like it, it's okay, but I'm going to have to get over with these fans. That's what I'm going to do to make it. Whatever. If you have a relationship, not. If you hate them, you hate them. You move on. You don't want to ever come back like Carl Anderson. Just say what you want to say and you're never going back. That's fine. Like, people do that. That's the bridge. He burned it. It's fine. It's okay. You don't have to come back. That's the thing I'm saying. If he wants to, I guarantee they will push him better because not only is he bigger, he cuts better promos, and he got rid of that. He got rid of that whole Long Island colorful thing. Like, he is.
And he's been killing it.
He's got a gimmick that he can do now, and that's the thing where it is like you do all these gimmicks in WWE, you do all these things. They don't realize your potential until you're gone. That's why people leave and come back. And it's the same thing if you work at your job. For example, you start at I can tell you the story. I started at Best Buy. I came in at like 775 when I started working there. 2 years later, somebody's coming in. I'm making like close to like $9. Somebody's coming in at $9.50. New hire that I'm training. They don't bump my pay up. They're paying somebody else more money that I have to teach to do the job that I'm getting paid less for. They're getting paid more because the market says so. So what happened is I quit. I left. And guess what? I came back and now I'm making double the amount of money that I was making before. Because that's what the market, because I already have the experience. So they pay me more. They know my worth.
I was working as an IT assistant at a school.
Yeah.
And they were letting me go. They told me, hey, your last day, because your last day, we're getting rid of the entire team. Your last day is on September 14th of 2014. I said, okay, cool. They brought in 2 new hires that were replacing the entire team. Oh, before you leave, you need to get them up to speed with what you know. And I'm like, wait, you're letting me go.
And you're hiring somebody that
the whole team didn't do, but you want me to teach them what needs to be done.
Yep.
You know, now I'm in a much better position where I was in before,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and when I left, these people were still calling me saying, hey, I got a couple of questions if it's cool with you. And then, when you start developing a friendship, they're like, yo, this job is really nonsense, this, that, and the third. I don't know why they let the whole team go. So I don't know either. But hey, you got to deal with that now. That's no longer my problem. It's above me now.
Yeah.
So,
and then you come back and you're better than ever. That's the whole thing. It's not.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. They just want to see it like.
What's good, Mikey?
And the big thing that I know about is if a wrestler doesn't come out and complain, we shouldn't assume they got let go and they're upset about it or they have a gripe or something. Some people do. Like Enzo has a gripe, but what is he doing about it? Nothing. And there were like, it's a whole prove me wrong mentality. Like all the people, like they let him go, they go to AEW, and you can now do what you wanted to do. You want to be a wrestler? Be a wrestler. You want to be a character? You go to WWE.
And bringing up Enzo, right? Bringing up Enzo's a very good point, right? Because Enzo's not doing anything.
Not really.
Had Big Cass, who was in a worse situation because everybody was like, oh, he had the issue with the drugs and whatnot.
Yeah.
He cleaned up, got ripped, got healthy, and is now a consistent mainstay on Impact. Making the most out of an opportunity.
Correct. And once again, if he wants to go back, the door's there for him. They don't let people go and tell you, we'll never bring you back. They've fired so many people that they brought back. I mean, like, that's the thing that people don't understand. They make room. There's just too many people there. I understand because then it's either, hey, they keep them on the books and then they don't get used. And then fans complain, why aren't you using this person? They let that person go. Oh, you didn't use them right. And then it's just like, what do you want them to do?
They always say, we wish you well on your future endeavors for a reason. That means that the door is always open for you to come back when it happens.
Yeah, a lot. And then a lot of people like certain wrestlers, and when there's a pocket of those, but if that person doesn't move the needle, what's the point? And that's the business decision. Like, we love, like, Keith Lee, for example. I love Keith Lee. I think he's great. But when he comes out there, I can see it when I'm like, oh, he's not getting a reaction that other people are getting. Right? What's the appeal? He's big. Right? I know what he can do. You know what he can do. We know what he can do. But that's not what the main roster does. You have to appeal to the casual person who doesn't know anything really about pro wrestling. They know entertainment. That's the key. Entertainment is not pro wrestling. And that's why I said AEW and WWE are football, like as an analogy. You have American football and you have European football. They're both football. They're just played completely differently. And that is sports entertainment, wrestling, and pro wrestling. They're completely different aspects of wrestling. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. No, we're on the same page.
We are, but it's for all the other people out there that that are like, oh, WWE is dead and stuff like that. No, it'll never die because
it's not.
The only way it dies is if AEW bleeds into sports entertainment, but then they will not be what the fan base wants. Fan base wants pro wrestling. That's it. Like traditional pro wrestling with the feuds of pro wrestling. Your character, your personality is secondary. Your performance, your art is primary. That is pro wrestling. And then those who rise above are the ones that have the character, like your Ric Flairs, your Arn Andersons, your Stings, and stuff like that. But like your Dean Malenko is not a personality, but everybody knows Dean Malenko is a dang good pro wrestler. But when he fights Chris Jericho,
so hold on real quick. So Mike is like, what if they are sports entertainment? So look, like this AEW has signs of sports entertainment, but that is not what they're branding themselves as. They're not branding themselves as sports entertainment. They are branding themselves as professional wrestling. They said it at the end of All Out. The number one place for professional wrestling is AEW. That's what they're branding themselves as. As WWE has continued for years on end, they are the number one place, the world's number one for sports entertainment. WWE, sports entertainment, WWE. If you listen, now they're not going to put. How many times have you seen, if you watch Raw, if you watch SmackDown from back in the day? SummerSlam was the number one tweeted thing in social media, much more than the NBA Finals, much more than Monday Night Football. That's their competition.
Yeah.
Other major professional sports leagues.
Clicks, likes, they're playing that game.
Yeah.
And they're World Wrestling Entertainment. You never hear anybody call it World Wrestling Entertainment anymore. They call it WWE and that's it.
Yeah.
When you hear AEW, they say All Elite Wrestling.
Yes.
They always break it down. All Elite Wrestling, AEW, WWE, SmackDown. They don't say World Wrestling Entertainment. They used to say World Wrestling Entertainment, but they're not allowed to say wrestling anymore because they're not wrestlers. They're sports entertainers.
Right.
That do
and that's why
wrestling. It's
WWE, when it comes to the character development of WWE superstars, they are building them to adapt to doing so much more than just being superstars in the squared circle. Why do you think they have so many of them in movies, in doing live TV, doing episodes on TV? They're building them to be multifaceted actors and actresses, Why do you think Sasha Banks is on The Mandalorian? Why do you think Roman Reigns is on, is on Fast and Furious? Why do you think The Miz was doing all those Marine stuff so he could start doing other things? And The Miz is the perfect example. The Miz came from reality TV into sports entertainment, so it was a breeze for him, and that's why he's one of the most revered superstars on that roster. Right? Why do you think? Look at the amount of talent that have been. Look at John Cena. John Cena was wrestling. They made him out to be a well-rounded character. Now he's doing movies. Now he's doing freaking Good Morning Americas. He's doing all these things that you'll be like, why is a wrestler, right? Why is a wrestler doing that? Because they're not wrestlers. They're entertainers.
It's an easier transition, and even Roman Reigns can do it. He's done it. He's acted. Well, like AEW stars can act like some of the stuff, but you have AEW does have entertainers, but their entertainment is wrestling. They don't have anybody that can't wrestle in AEW. They all can go, like MJF Thorby, like he's an entertainer, but he also has really good in-ring work. People don't understand it because he doesn't wrestle that often. But he's really good. Yeah. But his mic skills are above that. That's why you have your upper echelons. That's why I said you have the people that can work and go. Then you have people that can talk, and then you have people that have characters. And those people are your top level guys. And those will always be cemented. Like you have Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Harley Race, but when you had Magnum PI, you had all these other people that were there, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was not he was a character, but he wasn't really good on the mic in terms of those people, but they can work, right? So they would get the title and stuff, but they wouldn't carry the company. They never could carry the company. That is because they weren't at that brand. Like if we have like a Darby Allin win the world title, yeah, he can win the world title. That's sure. Have him win the world title, but he's not a brand that will bring your company to another stratosphere and bring it up there. For wrestlers, we'll love that. Like, yeah, he deserves it. He's a great person, great thing, but he's not like, that's why Kenny Omega has it. That's why Jericho had it. That's why Moxley had it. Because anytime you can put them in a situation outside of the ring, they will carry the flag at the highest level and be able to go into those inner circles to talk to different people. Kenny Omega hasn't really done it that much, but we know Jericho and Moxley can go on any show nationwide and carry the flag and also do those things and be ready for that. And also, when you look at the grind, all these wrestlers don't want the grind. And I don't think a lot of the wrestlers out today can do what John Cena's ever done. I think he's an anomaly, and people don't want to give him time. The fact that, like, when he broke down his life, like, he would go from this place to Make-A-Wish to this interview to this, and then in the same day do double time and then wrestle at WrestleMania. Like, that's a lot.
Exactly. Why do you think a lot of the talent, look at the amount of talent that are doing ambassador type of work? You had the Mark Henrys, you had the Big Shows, you had the Titus O'Neils, people who aren't really doing so much on the screen, but they're doing so much behind the scenes.
And now they're in AEW to coach those people along, to give them what it takes to take AEW from where they're at to where they want to be. And that is a global household name. But at the same time, sacrifices will have to be made along the way. And as you can see, the generation that we had going into the Attitude Era, that's why everybody's so fond of it. We're so there. And then once culture starts changing with the times, the Attitude Era was no longer anymore, because one, people get old, people retire, it doesn't work anymore. We all grow up, start getting girlfriends, married, boyfriends, situations, school, whatever. The masses move on from that. And it's not a cool thing anymore. Like, when we were watching the Attitude Era, I was in high school, right? So it was like, we go and talk about it. And then as that transitioned out of it, we didn't have that anymore. Like, I didn't have anybody who enjoyed wrestling anymore because people moved on in their lives. They didn't, like, it wasn't as entertaining. Like, when Austin retired and The Rock left, it slowly faded because those people were gone. And the same thing is going to always happen to WWE right now. Like, we lost John Cena, and there wasn't anybody to pick up the pieces. We had Drew McIntyre for a while, but now we have Roman Reigns, but like, he's not going to be there forever. He's getting old too.
Yeah, he's not going to be there forever. He's going to be gone.
There's no next bear. Like, we have AEW has a bunch of stars that aren't ready to do it, but they have stars. And that's the best thing. They have so much talent. They have the time to figure it all out. Who's going to fit where, who's going to be with who. Everybody's all about these dream matches. So there's a lot of good stuff with them right now. And that's the best part if you like professional wrestling. I think AEW is fantastic. I just don't like how they use certain people. But, you know, hey, we all have gripes to be with, but I think it's going to be the best for everybody involved. Like, if you just want to watch one company, you can just watch AEW and say, but you can't invalidate what's out there for what's WWE. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. That's it.
Let people enjoy it. If somebody wants to watch Raw and you're like, Raw sucks, well, if they enjoy it, let them enjoy it. The fact that they're still watching wrestling, you should be like, hey, look at this instead. It's like, if they don't like AEW, don't be like, hey, if they don't like it, they don't like it. If they love it, they love it.
Up the grounds for a conversation. That's it.
We're all niche in our love for what we love, and the fact that we have segregated groups in the little niche pocket that we have, it's kind of crazy to me. It's always crazy to me.
Well, let's see, it's 42. I'm about to call it a night myself, but thank you, Tech.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate always about your insight, man.
That was good, man.
And
I'm gonna upload this one though. This is a good talk.
Yeah, of course, man. We gotta talk about the G1 soon.
Yeah, well, you know, I already said we should do a podcast, bro. I'm telling you. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Time, brother.
We have the time.
Time. Listen.
Look, how long do we go for right now? How long? 39, 40 minutes right here. Just saying. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. We have the time. Got people in. We have the time. People have it. I enjoyed the chat, everybody's candor. I didn't read anything what you guys said, but I appreciate you guys for contributing to the conversation, always having hot takes and always being part of the conversation and loving pro wrestling and sports entertainment as a whole. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Have
Love you, man. I'll see you later.
Later, bro.